Hi guys, it's Amy here. So ladies, I'm here today to talk to you about medication while you're struggling with postpartum depression and anxiety. So it's a big topic. There's lots to talk about and think about. And I know I mentioned earlier in the group that I have a surprise for you. So if you stick around at the end, I'm going to talk about something really cool I learned this weekend while I was in training. So I've learned some pretty neat tools that I'm excited to share with you guys. So anyways, today I'm here to talk about medication. So if you're joining me watching the replay, feel free to say hi, leave comments, ask questions. I always love the interaction and getting those comments. If you're joining me live, say hi. Again, if you're watching the replay, just ask any questions you'd like. So we're talking about medication today, and like I said, stick around. We've got some good news afterwards. I've been on a trip with my family, and I came down and I've been doing some training, so we've been having lots of fun. It's been lots of sun, lots of good times, and yeah, it's been pretty exciting. So anyways, back to the topic of medication. So it's a tricky issue, or a tricky topic for a lot of us. I know there's a lot of stigma attached to taking medication. Sometimes society kind of looks at us as being women, being moms. It's supposed to be a happy time. It's supposed to be a good time after we have baby. And that's not always the case. So sometimes we can feel like we're being labeled as mentally ill or something if we're taking medications. And that's very common, and that's okay. But that's just all that stigma attached to it. So by talking about it, I hope we can kind of alleviate a little bit of that stigma. So if you're joining me, I see few people joining. Say welcome, to say hi and ask any questions if they come up. Hi Christine, thanks for saying hi, and I'm glad you're here to join me. So many women who are struggling with postpartum depression and anxiety are faced with the decision of whether they should take antidepressants or not. Now, many women that I work with, they either take medication or they don't, and that's okay. We're all bio-individuals. I talk about this a lot. Like, all of our chemistry inside, all of our hormonal balance, it's all different in all of us. So that's okay. And whether it works for somebody and may not work for you, or it may not work for somebody, you may hear scary stories of people, and that's okay. It's all different for everybody, right? So you have to remember that that's okay, and we try and alleviate that stigma that's kind of attached to medication. I know myself personally, growing up, I've had my own experiences with medication with my mom, and that's been very, very close to me, and it has impacted my beliefs and thoughts. And over the years, I've become more open-minded to a lot of different options and things, which I feel is very important as a society as a whole, to reduce that stigma. Is just all of us kind of being more open-minded and okay with what other people are doing. It's okay that people are on their own journey, their own path. They may need other methods, and that's okay if you don't want to be on medication. You feel that you're okay with going the route of trying the natural route, and it's okay if you feel like that route's not working for you and you need extra help. And again, with medication, we're always needing to make sure we consult our doctors and go through things with our doctors. A big thing is, especially when we're getting off of our medication, if you're finding that it's that time, always make sure doctor's monitoring that. It's very important, and I always emphasize that with all of my clients and everybody I work with, the families I work with. And I know this is a big thing that many people struggle with for a long time, deciding what they should do. And because of that stigma, that can be a really hard decision to make. Like I said, we think, oh, this is supposed to be a happy, exciting time, and we have all these expectations, and it's like, why didn't it work out that way? And some people can feel like, oh, maybe I'm a failure as a mom, and you know. And then the other thing that is a big fear that comes up is whether the medication will pass through your breast milk and harm your baby, or if you're pregnant, during your pregnancy, if it's going to harm your baby. So these are big concerns, and they're okay to be concerned, and they're big questions you should be asking. That's okay to be asking these and having these concerns. It's important to ask questions. It's good if you're asking questions. So when you go to your doctor, make sure you are asking these questions. Now, that's one thing I do through my program is I will help support you through that process. If you need help with talking to the doctor, making a plan, figuring out how to talk to them, having that extra support along the side to make it a bit easier. I know it can be a bit overwhelming going in and talking to a doctor, and sometimes we forget about the things, oh, I was supposed to ask him this or her this, him or her, what was going on, and we can get a bit overwhelmed and frustrated, especially during this time in our life, having postpartum depression and anxiety. You know, you can have that anxiety and you're stressed out just going to the doctor. So I can help with making that a bit easier. Let me know if you'd like to talk about that a bit more. But yeah, so these are very, very real concerns that people have, is whether medication is going to pass through breast milk, affecting the baby, and worrying about whether you're going to function adequately on these medications, caring for your infants and making sure that they're safe. Is that a safety concern? Those are very legitimate, okay concerns to have, okay? Wondering how long these medications will take to start and how long you'll be on them. Will you be dependent on them? And now they're all different, and that's where questions are important to ask and figure out what works for you. And it's okay to be asking these questions and figuring out what works best for you. And again, I support women in all different places, whether you choose not to be on medications, whether you choose to be on, and it's all going to be different. We're all bio individuals. We're all going to be different, and that is okay, right? Let's take away the shame and the guilt. It's okay. Wherever you're at, we'll meet you where you're at. And that's the big message that I want you to understand, that it's okay. If you're thinking about medications and you want that support and that help with making that decision, let me know. I'd be more than happy to work through that decision with you and help you figure that out. Now, one of the things that medications do is sometimes that chemical imbalance is just not quite right, and with all the hormonal changes that happen during pregnancy, they can help alleviate that. Now, there's different types of medications. There's anti-anxiety medications. There's also antidepressant medications. Antidepressants take a little bit longer. They have a bit more side effects. The anti-anxiety medications, they take effect much more quickly, and you will find fewer side effects and more instant relief. Sometimes doctors will use both together, and it all depends on kind of what's going on with you as a bio individual. We're all unique, and we all are able to make different choices, and that's okay. So, and that's the biggest thing, just taking away that shame and that guilt, and that it's okay, getting rid of that stigma that's out there. So, I know I've said that a few times, but I really want you guys to understand that it's okay. Like I said, some people are able to get through over time with group support, telephone support, volunteers, peer support groups, friends, family, sometimes extra therapy, that sort of stuff, and that's okay. And then other people find that psychotherapeutic medications really help them, getting that chemical balance sorted out and help them have a positive difference in their lives when, other supportive measures were not quite enough. So, again, everybody's different and everybody's unique, and that's totally okay. So the other thing is medications may be very helpful in recovery, but may not be your first or only choice. And the other thing I want you to understand is that you have the right to decide whether or not that is for you, right? And to be respected and supported of your choice. So always remember that it's your choice. Nobody else can influence that, and or people may influence that, but don't let them influence that. Let's focus on you and what your needs are. And you have the right to be informed about the side effects, the effectiveness, and to have your concerns and fears addressed with your doctor. And your pharmacist is always a great resource for that as well. And like I said, I can always help you figure out the right questions and help you, support you through that process if you need help with figuring that out with your doctor and how to talk to your doctor. So again, everyone's different, and it may be a simple decision for others. It may be more complex for other people. So I encourage everybody to get as much information as they can about what they're considering. Ask lots of questions. The other thing is I give all of my clients a copy of a self-help guide for mothers from the Postpartum Depression and Anxiety the Pacific Postpartum Support Society. And they make a book. So I give that to everybody, and it has lots of good information about medications in it to help you make those decisions. The other thing is your pharmacist and your doctor should have a copy of, I know in Canada it's through the Canadian Pharmaceutical Association. They have a copy of the annually published book of pharmaceuticals and specialties, and that's going to help. I know I have a very, very old copy at home, but they're going to have an updated copy in the pharmacy. I know we always ended up getting one when I was working in the pharmacy, and doctors will have that, and they can go through that and answer all your questions. So you can always ask about that and getting more information on that. And it's important to focus on the work that you are doing to get better. So medication is one part of the picture, but there's also many other parts, right? So medication may help that balance in the brain, but there are other physical... Hi, Astrid. Thanks for joining me. So there's other parts of the picture that we're going to have to work on, right? So it's not just the medication isn't just a magic cure-all thing, right? It just may be a part of the picture that works for some people, may not work for other people. And that's something that you need to think about, and you have the right to figure out what works best for you. And so remember that, that's not the only thing. You're doing lots of amazing work to get better. So just by reaching out and being here and listening and trying to learn more about this is very important. And give yourself credit. Give yourself a pat on the back. You're trying your best, and you're getting there, and you're using tools every day just to get through your day, and it is getting better, and it will get better. So sometimes you might find you have to reach out and find other tools and other things that work, but just give yourself a pat on the back and give yourself credit for what you're doing. Now, every woman's journey to recovery is unique. I want you to know that. I kind of gone over that a few times, and so remember that we're all individuals and we're all unique, and it's going to be different for everybody. We're all here to support each other and get rid of that stigma. So, any questions about that? I know it's kind of a brief overview. The biggest takeaway I want you guys to know is that it's okay, whatever you choose. Your choice, and if you need help with making that decision, I'm here to help you. We can hop on a call and go over it and see what works best for you and what you're going through. But other than that, feel free to shoot me a question. Even if you're watching the replay, I'd be more than happy to answer that and see if I can point you in the right direction, find some more information on that. So that's kind of that for the medication stuff. Now for my big surprise that I was excited to tell you. So my training, I couldn't hold off for another live video. I went to my training this weekend with Dr. Reggie Melrose. She did the 60-second fix. I don't know if you've heard of Dr. Reggie Melrose, but it is really neat. It is a really neat tool. My colleagues and I weren't quite too sure about it when we first looked at the book, but we were going anyways, and it was amazing. This lady is she's fun to listen to. Her workshop was really cool. And she has some really neat things. So, one thing that, let's see, what did I want to tell you guys about? It's very exciting. And so this tool, the 60-second fix, my battery's getting low, so try and get you through this quickly. So this tool helps a lot with stress and anxiety. So I know a lot of us are struggling through that in this group here, and it's a day-to-day thing. With depression comes anxiety. There's the highs and there's the lows. It's going to come just natural. There's the 10, the 0 is how she explained it. So we need to be in the 4 to the 7 to be in our zone where we're actually functioning. She talked a lot about the different parts of the brain, and I can go in with you a bit more detail with this later. We had 2 days with her, so all kinds of wonderful information. So the research says that we need to practice something for 21 to 28 days in order for it to build those neural pathways in our brain and become a habit, a behavioral habit, which is very cool. There's lots of research saying that behaviors can also bring out that dopamine that makes us happy, that happy hormone in our brain. So the more we practice these practices, the 60 seconds, I'll show you how to do it here in a second, the more we do it for 21 to 28 days, it becomes ingrained in our brain. The neuroplasticity, I don't know if you've heard that term, but it's now being thrown around everywhere, and it's really cool how our brains can continue to grow and continue to build and change those pathways. So sometimes we're stuck on those old pathways, those old habits, those old negative thoughts that we're familiar with, that are coming from wherever, childhood teacher, whatever, childhood traumas, all kinds of things that could happen, or just, day-to-day stuff that we get into a routine of doing these habits that are unwanted and not so good. So, if you're lacking motivation, that's where I come in as an integrative nutrition health coach, to get you through those 21 days of working on those new routines, those new habits. I offer one-on-one support, so that helps my clients stick to these new tools, be held accountable, and accountability is huge. I know having my accountability partner over the last couple of years has been tremendous. The changes that have happened in my life has been amazing because of that accountability. So get accountability if you're wanting to make these changes. So back to the 60-second fix. Simple. Only takes 60 seconds, but again, you need to practice this to get more familiar with it. It's going to feel weird at first because this is an uncomfortable thing that we may not be familiar with doing very often. So take your feet, uncross your legs, which may be very uncomfortable because we don't do that very often. A lot of times we cross our legs. So you can do this laying down, sitting up, standing, whatever, but sitting down is a good place to start if that's where you are. Whatever you're doing is good. So feet on the ground. Feel the ground with your toes and your heels. Plant your feet into the ground. Feel your butt being supported by your chair or the surface you're on. If you're on the bed laying down, feel your body being supported by the surface you're on. Lean back. So feet, seat, back. Your back is being supported by the gravity. Feel yourself grounding. Nose. Breathing through your nose. So that's bringing you to that parasympathetic state, bringing you down a bit more, that I've talked about before with deep breathing. So Breathing in through the nose, feet, seat, back, nose. Thoughts, if your thoughts are wandering, they're going in a different direction, bring it back to your feet, grounding the toes, wiggling your toes, grounding your feet. Your seat is being supported. You're being supported. You don't have to be tense. You don't have to be holding anything up. You know what? The chair is holding everything up for you. The bed, wherever you're laying, the couch, you're standing. The ground is holding you up. You don't have to be doing anything extra. So take that time. Feet, seat, back, nose. That nose breathing is going to help that parasympathetic response through your nervous system and help alleviate any of that anxiety way up here. It's going to bring you down to that zone. It may feel uncomfortable to get into that zone the first few times because we're not familiar with it. We're in a society where everything's crazy. We're constantly doing things. We're constantly demanding to babies' needs. We're demanding driving, trying to get to work. We're doing, all kinds of things. Today's just crazy with technology. We've got beeps going off all the time. I got to respond to the text. I got to respond to the text, all those things going on. So anyways, that's a quick, simple thing. Again, it may feel uncomfortable. We keep trying it. I would love to go over this with you more one-on-one. If you're interested, send me a message if you're comfortable. We can set up a time to chat. It is very cool. And there's a lot more into it. If you're into the brain science stuff, I'd love to chat with you about it. How it relaxes your whole nervous system. It helps your digestive system, all your organs on the inside. It helps them relax because, of course, our nervous system goes through our whole entire body. I can't remember the name of the exact nerve right now. I have it in my notes. But that goes and helps everything settle down. So I hope you find that helpful. If you want to keep trying it, we'll get more and more comfortable. It's just a way to ground yourself, a way to get away from that anxiety. It's a good thing to do if you're catching yourself just going a little bit out. Because when we're out of that zone, we're not able to hear things, we're not able to respond, we're not in a good state of mind. So I'll be talking more about this because it's a really cool tool. There's lots to talk about. So I'll let you guys get back to your Saturday. Thank you for watching me. Thank you for joining Christine and Astrid. Thank you for saying hi. I always enjoy you guys coming. Have any questions? You're still watching? Let me know before I pop off. But I'm gonna get to my day, enjoying my little ones. We're going out. We may go out to the lake today. Go visit my sister. So we're pretty excited. You guys enjoy your Saturday, and I'll let you go. We'll talk to you later.